Okay, let's start. Now, let's review what we covered yesterday. So, let's go to Notepad. Yesterday, we tried to understand the business requirements, their mostly used objects, and how the Haris, you want to show something? Okay, so the objects we discussed yesterday were customer, and those are in AR, and the other module is sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing. Before customer, we had item or service, for which the module were product information system and inventory management.
Yeah, and for vendor we AP and procurement and sourcing, and we need item, that's in product information management, and of course for the item we need inventory management too, and then we need cash and bank management. And what else we people will be studying? So we will be talking about account payable,
Warehouse.
receivable, cash and management, and
Warehouse.
journal ledger, a little bit human resources, organization, administration. Kindly mute if you're not talking. Organization, administration, a little bit system administration, we talk about tax,
Warehouse management and fixed asset.
so in this course distribution and trade we will touch these modules, and fixed asset we will be studying in the follow-up training sessions. So this is something we talked about yesterday, and I created my own VM. So let's do very quickly the legal entity. So we go to organization administration, legal entity. Let's create new. Distribution and trade. Let's call it Let's call it 002 and country is Pakistan. Okay, language US. It's already there. We save it. So this is something with the legal entity. And now we talk about the chart of account, which is the important thing. So we go to general ledger, accounts, and here the chart of accounts. So you can create a new chart of account, like it's simple. You just click new, give a name, description, and you can give a mask as well. It's just a pattern, hash, hash, hash. So all the numbers will be, all the accounts will be 4 digits. So you can mask the main accounts as well. So you can do this, but we are not doing the chart of account. That's part of the financial course. So we will be using this shared chart of account. It's a long list. You will be having everything here in this chart of account. So that's something about the chart of account. Come back, and then we need to configure the financial dimensions as well. So let's talk about the financial dimensions. We discussed yesterday like the business unit, and if you click here like the dimension values, you will be able to see the values which are in this dimension. So we have home, auto, management, IT, electronics, there are others. There are certain settings as well. So if you want to suspend, if you want to overwrite with regard to certain legal entities, so we will do this as we move forward. So this is business unit we will be using, and we will be using cost center. This is, let's go to the values. So you have trade shows, marketing campaign, service operations, production, quality control, logistics, procurement, and some other. So these are the cost centers, and department we will be using. So I'm just showing so you have a feel like what values are in these financial dimensions. So in departments you have sales and marketing, operations, finance, IT, human resource, legal, and some others. And we will be using item group. So you just grouping electronic accessories and sports action sports, apparel, and some other. So you're just grouping the items. So that's something. So these are the financial dimensions we will be using. We are not, if you want to create, you can create here. That's not difficult. So if we need, we will do this. Let's go back. If you have any question, you can stop me. I will answer. So next is the structure. So in accounts, you have the chart of account, which is the list of lot many accounts. And yesterday we discussed like there are three major types of financial statements, like the balance sheet, profit and loss account, and the cash flow statements. In the balance sheet, we have assets, which are normally start with 1, and then we have liabilities starting with 2, and then the equity, which is starting with 3. And then we have the revenue and the expense starting with 4, 5. So that's something regarding the accounts, and we just talked about the dimensions. Now you want to combine the accounts and dimensions. How you can do that? So for that we can define the structure. So we go here, configure account structures. Let's go here. Kindly, if you're not talking, kindly mute yourself. So, so this is the manufacturing balance sheets. You see here, like the account starting with 1 and up to the account starting with 3, and you are considering the business units, the departments. Let's edit it. So this let's click here. Blank values are allowed. Let me click here. You see, star means it can include all the business units. If I click here, so it's just added a blank. So it means the business unit may be blank. If you're posting to a certain account, it's not mandatory that you have to give the business unit. So that's something with the like business unit and department. Let's go back and see manufacturing profit and loss. So you see here, let's spend few moments here. So you see like the accounts are starting with 4 up to the end, to up to the end 9. So here we're using business units and department and cost center. And what's interesting here, the interesting thing, we defining the rules. Like if the department is 22, and for this department you can use these two cost centers, 0007 to 009. And for department 23 you can't use blank if you're using this. So this is the range for the cost center. Item group, no restriction, it could be blank as well. So this is something like you can define the rules in which account you can use, which department, which cost center, if else whatever. You can manipulate the business rules. So that's something regarding the structures. So we talked about the accounts, dimensions, structures. So what else we need to talk about? So we need to talk about the currencies. So let's go to the currency thing. Microsoft already provided almost all the currencies. So if you write here PKR, so you say PKR. USD definitely, of course, it should be. So they already provided all the currencies. But if you want to define another which is not already there, you can do this. So you define the ISO code for this, give a name. If you know the symbol, write the symbol here, and you can apply the rounding rules and the currency gender as well. So it's not that important, but you can do this. So this is regarding the currency. Okay. So in currency, if currency is not already there, you can create it, and then you need to have the exchange rate types. So let's do it. So there are different exchange rate types. Like you might have the exchange rate types for your actuals. You might have exchange rate types for budget. So these are certain things which you need to define. Let's do it. Let's create a new type. Let's say distribution and trade. Distribution and trade. We save it. No, we have the so you can click here exchange rates. No, you can add like here currency, let's say USD to PKR, and here you can define the rate like this, like 1 USD it's 102 point something. So this is the rate which is from this date to this date. That's something you can do, but it's difficult. You if it's an enterprise like operating the whole universe, whole world, so you will be having almost all the currencies, and you have to convert between two currencies, or maybe there is one global or the group currency, and you have to convert to, let's assume the group currency is USD, the other all currencies should be converted to USD. So it's difficult, it's a big task. So what the Microsoft did, like you configure the exchange rate provider. So we click there, clicking new. So they provided like Central Bank of Russian Federation, Central Bank of Europe, or there is one other. You can pick anyone, and you can like if there is any source which provides you the exchange rate, you can configure this by if they expose the services, you can consume those services here. So I'm just using the Central Bank of Europe. So these are the services, and I'm saving it, and that's it. So this is something importing the, it's something like configuring the exchange rate types. Now let's import the currency exchange rates. So you want to import to which exchange rate type? So I'm choosing the DAT, and the provider we just created, and import as of today, create pairs, yes. So I just say okay. Haris, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You want to show something?
No.
You said like you want to be the presenter.
No. It must have been some mistake.
Okay, no problem. Okay, then let's go to the exchange rate type. This is the exchange rate. Go to exchange rates. So you have all the exchange rates which is already being done for you. So that's something regarding the currencies. Let's talk about the fiscal calendar. So because whatever you're doing, like I told you, like I earned a revenue of 1 million. That's useless. That's not meaningful. So you must be asking in which period, what's the date, what's the year. So that's important. So for that, to give some perspective, time perspective to the transactions, we have the fiscal calendars, and we have we will be using the fiscal calendars. There are a lot many. I will be using this fiscal. So it's already being there. So there are about 12 periods. The period 0 is opening, and period 13 is closing. So when we talk about the financial part, so we will be talk a lot regarding this fiscal thing. So that's something you can create a new calendar as well if you wish. That's not big deal. So we go to here. So we talk about this thing. So let's set up the company now, and we go to this ledger. Why we are here? It should be 002. So this is the company we just created. Chart of accounts, I will be using shared. Fiscal calendar, I will be using fiscal. Accounting currency USD. Reporting currency USD. Exchange rate type we just created, DAT. We are not doing budgeting, so no need to have this. Let's add some structures. I'm using balance sheet. One more. Yeah, that's it. So we have the company. Okay. So let's create some journal where we can do the transactions. So let's go to the journal ledger and then go to the journal names. Let's create one book where we record the transactions, what's happening in our business. So let's say journal. And for the journal, the type should be daily, because this is the book you keep using on the routine basis, on the daily basis. So the journal type should be daily. There are many other journal types. As we move forward, we keep learning the other types as well. So you see there is something red. So this means it's mandatory. So you need to create the voucher series. So you can do, like, if you right click here, go to the view details and you click new here. Let's give some name, journal, number series, and scope may be shared, maybe company specific. So we be taking it company specific. And this is the company we just created. And here I don't want, because it's, I know, because it's company specific, then there is no need to prefix with the company, so I remove it. Journal, and I want this journal to be continuous, like one after another. There are no gaps. So the smallest will be 1, the largest will be this one, and the next upcoming is 1, because it's just newly created, and there is a jump of 1. So that's it. Just save it, go back, and here you can define, you can pick, you just create it. There are a lot of other stuff here. So as we move along, we cover some of the stuff here, some of the stuff we will cover in the financial module. That's not required here. So that's it. So we have one book where we can write something. So let's try to write something now. So how you can write something? You need to go to Journal Ledger, and this is the journal entries. So where you can make the journal entries, you need to go this journal, click new, you pick here. So this is the header, but you need to write the line. So click line. You will see like there is some error. Now what's the error? The error is journal batch number must be filled in. So this must be filled in. And but we are not able to write anything. This is system generated and you can't edit it. So that's the big thing. So how we resolve this issue? So first, let's try to find this journal batch number. We go back. We don't want this. So if you go to the journal ledger and you go to where? Journal ledger parameters. So here you will see the number sequence. In most of the modules you will be having this the parameter thing, and in each parameter you will see this number sequence. So you see here the journal batch number this. So here you have to have the sequence. The one way is you create the number sequence as we created just few seconds before, and you assign here because if I write here G, you will see the journal we just created that's available here as well. But we're not going to use the same sequence with two different things. That then we're losing the purpose. But you see the other things, other blanks as well. And if I go to like account payable, as I mentioned, you go to the parameters, you go to the number sequence. So that's also having nothing. So it's a big task. If you start creating the number sequence and assigning here for each system created object, then it's a big hassle. It becomes a big project. So what the Microsoft did, they provided the utility. So you go to the organization administration, you go to the number sequence, and you go to the generate button. And you need to like be in this company. So in this company 002, this the set of sequences will be generated. It take a while. If you have any question, you can ask. Take about 1-2 minutes. This process. Anybody? Yes, please.
Okay, we can set up multiple exchange rate types, but on Ledger we can define only one exchange rate type. Is there any specific reason for this?
You yeah, you are right. Like in one company, you have just one chart of one exchange rate type, but you can change it for the reporting sake. If you want to do the analysis or something, you go to the ledger and then you change it and then have another set of reporting.
Okay.
And that's also available for other legal entities as well. Maybe you replicate the same legal entity, and in the new entity you have another exchange rate type that you can do. There are a lot of purposes for this. So it just gives you the flexibility. But of course, definitely at one time there must be one set of exchange rate. Shouldn't be keep changing. You agree with this point? So that's why they provided just one exchange rate type. Is this right? You have agreement? Is this answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sabik,
Yes, please.
I have one question. Maybe you have answered it, but I missed it. So can I ask it?
Yeah, please, sure.
So my question is like it's a bit generic question. It's like when we've decided like when we have to open the legal entity or we can work it from the business unit. Like I have seen a company in which we have multiple legal entities, and in some scenarios I have seen like one legal entity with multiple business units. So how we can decide like what we need to opt?
Yeah, that's not the question related with the distribution and trade. We can park this question and we will take this up in the following course. So it's not far away. It's just a matter of few days. I guess you
Okay, sure.
hold this question.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so what we have, like the system generated 251 number sequences for account payable, account receivable 247, and for the journal ledger there are 15. So it's a big thing. So let's click finish. Okay, so you can check now. If you go to this journal ledger parameters, number sequences. So you have all the number sequences. So that's it. So let's go to again journal new. So it's being generated. Let's add certain lines. I want to take long-term loan from the bank. So let's do it. So click here, long. So it's a long-term bank loan. So as I said earlier, like business unit, department, they are not mandatory. So if a specific department is but you can understand, like if a specific department is taking the loan, you can mention here, like this is the loan took by finance department. So that's the purpose. So you may have lot of combinations, like one GL account along with all the departments or the business units. So that's the advantage. So you're not messing up the chart of account. Chart of account remains in a manageable size. So that's the beauty. So I'm not adding this. So when you're taking the loan, it should be credited. So I am taking 100,000 loan and it will go to my bank and my bank will be debited. So I'm going to put in this bank. So I'm just straight away going to post it. So when you post it, it will save it, it will validate. If there are certain errors, so those will be highlighted. Yeah, we did it. So let's go to general ledger again, trial balance. Okay, calculate balances. So we see the balances here as well. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's create I know, like the customer is the most beautiful thing in this world, but you going to sell something to the customer, but that's something you have to procure from somebody, and that somebody is your vendor. So let's go to the account payable, all vendors, and let's create a vendor so we can buy from that vendor. So let's say new, and let's try to understand what's is what is mandatory when you're creating the vendor. So you see here, like you need to give a name to the vendor, and then the other thing is vendor group. So that's mandatory. This is something you need to have. Okay, let's try to find out the vendor group. Name we can give anything, like let's say we can give Wahid or Sadiq or anybody. So before creating the vendor, let's create the group. So we go to payable. Oh, you see the vendor group here. Let's click here and then see what's mandatory. Yeah, lovely. Nothing is mandatory here. But you see something like terms of payment. So let's try to understand terms of payment. And another thing is default text group, and then exclude from search result. So you can, if you click here, like then in the vendor groups, if you're doing somewhere search, so this vendor group will not be coming there. So that's something. So let's try to understand the terms of payment now. So we go here. So terms of payment we find here. Let's try to understand what we have in terms of payment. So you need to give a name. You need to give a name, and then month, days. You see the payment schedule. Payment day. Okay. So there are a lot of things. So in order to create the vendor, so you have to create a lot of other objects as well. So let's start from the bottom now. So first we need to create the payment day. Let's do this. Let me go to payment day. So you may be like worried, or maybe have some question like how I able to know like this is payment days here. There is no need to know the navigation, but as you do the practice, you keep learning, you will be able to figure out where is the payment days. But forget it. So you just click here, search, right? Payment day. So you see somewhere? Yeah, you got it. Payment days, accounts payable, payment setup, account receivable, payment setup. So it's not big deal. So you can figure out. So let's go here, payment days. Let's create a new one. So before creating this payment days, let's try to understand. Most of the organization, they don't keep paying the money to their vendors throughout. No. They have specific day in a month when they release the payment. Let's say you say like 15th, day 15th, 15th of month. So you go here, you click month, and you see like you're not able to write day of the week. So this is editable, so you write 15, and that's it. So what this means, so when you generate the invoice, let's say you created the invoice and sent to the, like you received the invoice from the vendor on maybe 3rd. So that's not due. So the invoice will be due on 15th. And if you receive the invoice on 16th, then that will be payable in the next month on 15th day of the month. So that's something. So this is one thing you can add that gives you some advantage. So you don't need to hassle like on every day you going to prepare the checks or you doing something to pay to your vendors. So you just specify a few days when you may have 2 days, like you make the payments on maybe 10th, 20th, 30th. You may have 3 days, and you can also do one more thing, like you say you only pay on. So you only pay on Monday after the 15th. So that's another beauty. So if 15 is on let's see the calendar here. So the 15 is on Saturday. So when you have to pay on 17th. So this is the advantage of payment days. So that's something we be able to understand the payment days. Let's try to understand the payment schedule. So let's go to account payable, payment setup, and then payment schedule. These are shared objects available to account payable, available to account receivable, both. So let's create the payment schedule. So let's assume like you bought something, let's say of worth $12 million, right? But like you know you're not able to, because you bought something, you will not be able to sell it instantly. So you got some agreement with your vendor, like you make the payment in installments. So you agree with certain schedule. So let's say you have maybe $6 million, you bought something, and you want to pay equal installments in 6 months. So let's do it. How you do that? So you assign this payment schedule with your like POs, with your invoices. So let's do it. So let's say 6 month. Six-month payment schedule. Okay, let's see certain things now. So there is allocation, total. It means you can't say anything here. It's almost adding no value, almost nothing. So you pay lump sum. So that's not the point. So you go to the fixed amount. Let's say you pay monthly payment per month. If you say write 1 here, it means you're going to make payments every month. and how much money you're going to pay. 1 million. That's it. So that's a schedule. So you're just saying like you're going to pay on every month, and every month you pay 1 million. So in 6 months time, you paid all the entire money. So that's one thing. Okay, let's do the other thing. Let's remove it. So we able to understand the total. Total means everything you going to pay in one installment. So the fixed amount, and let's talk about the fixed quantity. So in fixed quantity, I'm saying like you can pay on a daily basis or monthly or yearly. I'm saying I'm paying monthly. One means every month, and how many installments? I say 6, and that's it. So this is the schedule. So you don't need to mention the amount here. So that's the advantage. So the advantage of having this schedule is this is very dynamic and flexible. You can attach this schedule whenever you need the 6 equal installments. But if you say 1 million, then this is very specific. So you have to assign this to those customers where you have to pay 6 million and every month you interested to pay 1 million. So that's the difference between these two. And if you say, if you pick like let's remove it, let's go to specified. So in specified you can add anything. Like you say like the first time you're going to pay 25%. Second month, because I'm saying here I'm paying by month. So in the second month I'm going to pay 25%. Third month I'm going to pay the rest of the amount, 50%. So it could be amount or it could be percent. So this is something you can do. Okay. So that's something the allocation. So there are different types of allocations when you're creating the schedule. So the total, the fixed amount, the fixed quantity, and the specified. Okay. Let's talk about the sales tax allocation. So you bought for 6 million. So there must be some tax amount as well. So how you want to pay that tax? You can pay proportionally like that divided in 6 installments, or you can pay the whole tax in the along with the first installment or along with the last installment. And the similar thing is if there are certain charges, maybe the handling charges or the freight or whatever. So installation charges, there are a lot of variety of different things. So how you want to discharge those? So proportionally, or you can pay with the first installment or with the last installment. So the another thing is max and min. If you say like 1,000 and here you say 100,000, what this means? It means this payment schedule is applicable when the amount is between these two limits, minimum and maximum. I guess I put the value incorrectly. So if the value is less than $1,000, so it's not applicable. If it's more than 100,000, then it's not applicable. So that's something with this. So we created a payment schedule. Let's remove everything. So I'm saying quantity 1 month, 6 installments. That's it. I'm making things simple. Okay, let's go back. So we learned this payment day, we learned this payment schedule. So let's try to understand the terms of payment.
I have a question
Yes, please.
in this payment schedule form.
Yes, please.
If we set maximum amount as $100,000 and we create payment lines with 50% of amount, and that 50% amount would exceed the maximum amount, then what would happen?
Say that again.
I'm I'm saying that if we set a maximum amount, let's say $100,000, and then we create a payment line from the lines, and we set 50% of amount in first installment, and then that 50% of amount exceed our maximum amount.
I think this max or min is applicable with the overall amount. So what's the total amount on which you're going to make the schedule?
Oh, okay. It's not per installment.
It's not on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, let's do something more. So let's try to create terms of payment. Let's do it. So I'm saying net 90 days, or maybe net 180 days. So one of my colleague yesterday asked me there is no need to stretch the time. So we will keep 1 hour daily. So we stop after 1 hour, whether maybe we in the middle of something, we resume from there and then in the next session. I hope that will be good with everybody. So let me create this terms of payment and then we will stop. Okay, so payment method, there are different payment methods. So I'm not going to talk with the different methods. So you try to explore it. So right now I will be using this net. Net means whatever you have to pay, the net thing. And there are current method, current quarter, current year, current week, cash on delivery, cut-off days. So we talk about these other payment methods in the next session. So let's do with net thing. So I'm saying, sorry, I'm saying you have to pay after 180 days. So these terms of payment actually create the payment day. So you send a PO, you bought something, and you and your vendor agreed on this term. So once you receive the invoice, when you have to pay after 180 days. It's not like you receive the invoice and the next moment you have to pay. No. So that's the way you you have to compute the payment day. So another thing you need to add, you paying in 6 months, but you paying in installments like this, and we already created the payment schedule. Okay, you paying every month, but you paying using this payment day. And what's this D15 payment day means? Monday following the 15th of the month. So that's something we add. So there are payment type, credit card, and some other stuff. So I just need to save it, and we will talk about this in the next session. And let me go back. I have 2 more minutes. Let me create the vendor. So most of your things should be added with the group. So new. So this is the type is organization. Your vendor might be organization or a person. So name is, let's say, Wahid, and group we already created. I have already created Wahid with my other company. Let's take another name. I will explain what was the Fayaz. We haven't created group, I guess. Just give me 1 more minute. So just to create the, let's say 10, description, domestic, and this is the terms of payment. Save, go back, vendor. Yes. Yeah, so we created the vendor. So in the next session, what we people will do, we will create an item, and then we try to buy that item from this vendor. So that's the objective or the task in the next session. And in the next session will be on coming Monday. So I will not be available in the next 1-2 days. So next session will be on coming Monday, same time. If you have any question, you are welcome to ask. I'm stopping the recording.